Good morning, everybody. Orange J here with another War of the Visions video, and today we're going to talk all about this up-and-coming new magic job-based vision cards meta team. You can see right here, we're in guild battles today. This is a top 10 guild battles that you're seeing, and I'm still using my Squall, my Lightning, because I love them, and part of me is still attached to this Bridal Alaya, but we are definitely running in to a new Mage team. You can see Vivi right here. I fully expect to see a new Helena hiding back there, maybe a Shalze, maybe a Soul, something else like that tapped in. It is full on magic. My team much better against physical, but I thought this would be a fun way to kind of introduce this video by potentially showing my Guild Wars team, which for the better part of a month has been cleaning up, like doing really pretty well in Guild Wars, considering I'm hard forcing Squall and having his friend Lightning tag along. Really, the only meta unit my team's been using for a while is Bridal Alaya, and she is still great, but not, she's not what she used to be. Meanwhile, these mages that I'm running against, I think they might take me down. So it's just kind of fun to introduce a video like this with a little Guild Wars fight. You guys get to watch me wipe, so you know that even me, the person, can still wipe sometimes. Also, this map could be a little bit weird. So it's actually going to be a really interesting third unit here. It's going to be the Wrath. Now, I'm going to show off a team later in this video that is this exact team that we're running against. And I think this will be a good opportunity to see the kind of vision card setup you can do, the potential power of job-based vision cards that's not even fully here yet. We don't have access to enough job-based VCs yet to fully run this comp that you see me going up against, as opposed to like you have tons of access to mono element VCs if you've been playing the game for a while. It's going to take us a minute to get to that point in the game, but we'll see. So there's fast cast from Vivi. Interesting. Having the Vivi run haste and hasting the take is an interesting approach. I don't know that I hate it, but my units are going to get all their buffs off. That's cool. Vivi's going to cast Flare on my Squall, and you just see Squall, who's been so tanky for me for so long. You see him just take a ton of damage right there. Same with Alaya. Somebody who just for so long on my team has just eaten damage and not really cared about it. Ooh, man, it's too bad. If we could have popped the re-raise on the Vivi before Lightning killed him, she probably takes him down with a follow-up attack. I don't know that it'll... Ooh, does Alaya still have courage? I hope she does. She does not, and so we go down. Had Alaya had courage, I think I at least get 2 of them right there, but that Mage team cleaned me up. It was close. We were just a couple damage away from destroying that Vivi before he killed all of us, but that's not what happened. Vivi is a hard man to kill, and that's one of the reasons that he is going to be present in these mage teams. He, Helena, really tough to kill. I liked the addition of a tank right there for their team. It helped keep their Helena alive, who I think Helena might still be the most potent of these mages that we have, but there's a lot of different options here. We'll kind of discuss them as we go through this video. All right, now I want to start the breakdown of this Mage team on JB's job-based vision card spreadsheet that he built. This is one of the best tools that anybody in the community's ever made. This thing is awesome. And what you're seeing on the page right here are the job-based VCs for staff Black Mage and the units that can use them. So you see Helena and Vivi right here. These are obviously the two core foundational pieces to this team. If you just had one of them, I would say Helena would probably be the better one, but Vivi's definitely the cooler one in my opinion. Then you have damage-based options with like Darkvina or Skahal or Medina, Gargus, something like that. Ton of support options in here. Lena, Aerith, Lemure, Ayaka, a ton of support options at different cost levels. Sakura is a great cost limited option. And down here in the actual cost limit MR lower section, you have units like Naya, who even had a strong showing in the last PvE, auto PvP finals that we had for global. Naya was all over that thing, really popping off. So this is a great tool, and it shows off the kind of stats you can get. And what we have now in global is the trifecta of stats that you need to kind of unlock these teams. You need on your teams to have at least, in my opinion, 3 things that hit all of your units. You need AoE resist, you need agility, and you need single target resist. Don't know why I said them in that order, that was a little weird, but you need those. And the beauty of job-based vision cards is not only does Battle in the Clouds here, a job-based vision card that we're talking about, give area attack resist at a higher value than just a typical rainbow AoE resist card gives, you also get other things like reaction block rate 32 and magic up 50%. Hello, if you are ever trying to build a job-based team for vision card or a job-based mage team with vision cards, get Battle in the Clouds. This thing is next level. It is next level. Having AoE resist and magic up on the same thing, sprinkle a little reaction block rate, this thing's insane. So there's our AoE resist, and we get those other bonuses on there. Then for single target resist, I'm going with Nightmare Before Halloween with this comp because guess what? Here's my single target resist. Sure, it's just 20. It's not 24 like the other one. I guess we're not eating perfectly, but Maneater on magic attack, yeah, I'll take that. Strike attack, resist up 16. There's still plenty of strike teams out there. Those are wonderful stats to have on a VC. I love that. This was limited on a Halloween rerun. If you ever get a chance to pick this one up, I highly recommend it. And then right here, I'm getting my agility from General of the Abyss Horde Greater Demon. This is a non-limited vision card with that agility 15% on it. And then you're getting some more resist. So we have so much going on here. That's the beauty of this. All three of my units are getting a ton of damage resist, a ton of Maneater, all three of those important stats that we saw, and then things like reaction block rate. It's so many buffs. It's just so many buffs. And that's why even my well-built lightning team, it was more geared towards physical. Those were bad matchups for me today, and I wiped to it, but just the raw buffs that those teams had and the ability to mix and match different elements, it's crazy hard to deal with. So what do you think about when building this team? You can obviously do this version right here, the triple mage version. This is not what we just fight, but this is just raw firepower. So go get the best espers for these guys. Go get those vision cards set up. You can even, there's enough right now that you can even sub job decent vision cards like Shinryu, get yourself some more Maneater with magic, etc. Right? This is so powerful and this has so much damage in this comp, but I actually like a different variation of it. I like the variation we just saw live a second ago more, where you sprinkle in the tank. 2 high damage mages is probably enough to kill most teams. Give them some option to keep them alive, and this is my favorite thing. Now, you do run into a little bit of problems right here with these job-based vision cards. Like, let's look at Vivi's card. One beautiful thing about this, I have to actually click it to see these buffs. This has overlap with Roth because this hits that mace job. That's wonderful. So that means my Roth gets that AoE resist and that magic up 50%. She loves all of those stats. But unfortunately for job-based vision cards like Nightmare Before Halloween, it misses her. So you have to be a little bit more creative right here. General of the Greater Horde, this covers them all. And in my opinion, if 2 out of 3 of your main vision cards cover your main 2 units in the group, you can play a little loose with that third unit. In this case, the third unit is Roth. So I'm playing loose. She's getting all the resist. She's getting the agility. I would never have a unit skip the agility, by the way. One way to just guarantee yourself getting destroyed in a fight is have your units be slow. Never be slow unless you're being slow on purpose because you have a team build in mind or something like that with a Balo, something along those lines. So my Roth is catching most of those buffs. I had to get a little bit more creative with this comp in subvision cards. I went with a generic rainbow card in Ramu for just the magic up, and then I went with the generic agility card to again continue to make sure my units are going fast. Now let's jump into a fight and kind of break down how these teams work. You're going to be seeing a lot of this Helena Vivi duo lately. So what can you expect from it? Like, what are you going to run into? Here, I'll fight evasion team. It wouldn't do poorly against that, although we saw this lose to evasion quite a bit in the tournament. Let's try it. Let's try it. This will give me a good chance to kind of talk about Helena. One of the things that she does not particularly do good against, unless you build her for it, is fighting evade, especially well-tuned high-end evade teams. What we saw in the World Finals of the Auto Battle Tournament was Helena just regularly whiffing against evade units. Yes, you can spec into the White Mage sub job, which gives you access to Holy, 100% hit move, but you're giving up a lot of AoE to get there. Odaiba Diver in his second place interview kind of talked about that. Now here you go. Vivi is going to bring this protect buff to his group that gives re-raise removal to your allied attacks. So right here, Vivi and Helena both have re-raise removal blocking. They will prevent the enemy from knocking re-raise off. Vivi comes equipped with re-raise, and Helena will buff herself with re-raise on her first turn, like you just saw. So right here, watch this, Rose Blast. She not re-raise removal seal. Even if Bart's had the ability to remove re-raise with a move, he no longer does. That's very powerful. So you have to figure out a way to kill these guys while not being able to knock off the re-raise, which means things like follow-up attacks, like I almost got the opportunity to do with my lightning, will be effective against them. As long as your follow-up attack does enough damage that when they re-raise, you knock them back down again with the follow-up attack, I think that's a really good option. Also, as you can see right here, the damage that Helena and Vivi can put out is insane, and this dude was asleep. You know why he was asleep? Because Helena puts people to sleep all of the time. Look at how we just ran over that team. That was a decent team right there. They had a thing going. My Helena luckily had enough accuracy to hit them. I'm guessing that wasn't the highest end kind of evade team, and my trust stone runes and things like that, giving me the luck and some accuracy built in there, that definitely helped a little bit. Let's do one more fight and kind of break it down again. This time I'll try to throw myself again. Oh, here's just a regular light team. This is, well, it's a light mage team. You're going to see some Addison Rae mixed in with Helena. This time it's interesting matchup here. Both of us are running a tank. They're running 2 mages, I'm running 2 mages, but my team skews heavier towards dark, which potentially makes this a little bit more explosive of a match because of the elemental weaknesses in there and strengths. You know, dark versus light, the matchup as old as time in global, definitely more explosive of a matchup than anything else. Let's pay attention though to the position of a tank. If you want to run the team comp that I'm showing off right here, note where I put my tank and note where the enemy puts their tank. My tank is tucked off to the right. Now I'm going to slow this down a little bit just to kind of show this off. My tank is not even on the screen while my mages buff each other and begin closing the gap. Their tank is in the middle with the purpose of drawing their team together to buff. My Roth is hanging out by herself because I anticipate when fighting these mage teams, we're going to get a lot of true AoE again. Sure, some of them like Soul, some of them like Helena do have occasional moves that are pick your single target, but Alaya was the biggest perpetrator of that we've seen in a long time, and it was really annoying because it was really hard to get out of that AoE. When you're fighting these mage teams, anticipate wanting to not be grouped up necessarily, instead of it not mattering as much as it has in the past. Now, I like Vivi catching haste. I still feel like haste is something that you want to work into your teams if you can. Once again, just with the thought of, hey, don't run into a Bradley or something who has all of this speed and is giving himself haste. That's dangerous. Okay, my Helena has Reflect. This is another thing you're going to have to watch out for in these mage versus mage matchups, or if you're just fighting this mage team. Once Helena uses her limit break, watch, she has Reflect. She's going to reflect this right back at the enemy Helena and actually put her to sleep when her courage procs. Now, my Vivi died, but he can't have his re-raise removed, so he gets to come back to life and heal himself, which hopefully will get him another turn. My Helena's going to take their Helena down, put Addison Rae to sleep. Their Helena does get the re-raise off, so she still had that rocking for her. Addison Rae goes down, she stays down, and we've still got the tank. I want to mention my Roth has yet to even participate in this fight. Now she's here, and that's important because look, my mages were a little low. The enemy Helena was forced to come away from them and go for my Roth, who put a doom on the Warrior of Light. So this thing ain't going to turns, Warrior of Light. There's Dual Punisher. I want to mention that move specifically one more time, and I'll slow this down a little bit. Dual Punisher is Helena's move that is a select single target multi-hit move. So it is the one move she can do if the enemy units are very spread out. So do make sure you're running more than just AoE resist against this team. You do still want to run single target resist if you can. Okay, I feel like I've talked about this a lot. Overall, what are my thoughts on this meta team? It's really good. It does a ton of damage. You can sprinkle in a tank if you want to mess with aggro like I was right there. You can also sprinkle in some very, very effective healers. I'm going to put JB's tool back on the page again here for a second. Healers like Lemure can bring haste to your team if you don't want to have to get it from a TMR or a sub job on one of your mages. Ayaka can also bring haste and a ton of healing. Aerith is a really curious option to me because she brings that magic shield to your team. There could be some clever Aerith teams out there. I think that's a fun one. I've not used Lena very much. I don't have her built or pulled on my account, so I couldn't tell. And then you might even see a Gargus or two. I anticipate Lemure being one of the most used options. And if you're going true DPS, I anticipate seeing more Dark Fina and more Skahal than anything else, just because of how powerful they are in the game right now. So to wrap it up even more, if you're trying to build this team, I highly recommend making sure you have all of the important 3 main stats. You're going to want single target resist, you're going to want AoE resist, and you're going to want agility. Try to, if you're trying to work in a tank, make sure they splash over as much as possible. I think Roth is one of the best ones for this, and enjoy this team. It's fun to see mages in the meta again after so long of Alaya, after so long of Bradley. We had Soul kind of creep up as a counter to the Alaya teams, and now we have like full magic destruction teams coming into the game, which is pretty dang cool. Okay, I hope you enjoyed this little breakdown of the Mage team. If you're building one yourself, good luck out there with it. I'm having a lot of fun with this. I'm moving this team over to my Guild Wars offense team for the next couple days, seeing if I can find some 6 stars again, as I feel like I need to retool my Squall team, or maybe wait for my my good friend Lightning Asterius here in a little bit. Yeah, he's going to be a big deal too. I'll talk about him when he comes out. This one's all about the mages. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. Have a great day. I'll see you next time. Peace.